Hey, so these are basically Indian legends of the resurrected Christ visiting these people. At least what very much sounds like it would be the Christ based off of the descriptions and what's explained in the stories. Um, but yeah, basically they are like native people, Indian legends from the Americas of Christ visiting these people, and it's from a book called "He Walked the Americas." And so I'm just gonna read from just a part of this book that I wanted to share. I'm probably gonna make this into like a three-part series where I share certain parts of this book that stuck out to me the most. And I have read this whole book before. But yeah, it's called He Walked the Americas, and it's basically, like Native American legends of Christ. So this one is Random Memories. These are a series of memories, a word or two dropped in passing. The Pawnee remember the prophet who came and taught them of his Father, the mighty Holy of the heavens. He told them not to forsake his precepts, and when they returned again to warfare, they thought often of his predictions of how war but breeds more carnage. Even then he foretold the coming of white man. The Pawnee remembered him as Paruxti, and his father as Tirawa. They know that they disobeyed him, and they pray to him in anguish. The Algonquin of the eastern seaboard, when asked how they got their name for the dawn light, say that it was the name of the Pale One. They would not give him their own name as he had asked them, for to him names meant nothing, and he allowed each tribe to name him. They asked instead his name in childhood when he lived across the ocean. The name he gave them was a strange one, hard to say in their liquid language, so today they tried hard to say it. Jesus, the god of the dawn light. The Algonquin of the Great Lakes remember well the pale great master. The Chippewa say he gave them many medicine lodges whose signs and symbols are secret, fashioned from those across the ocean. Even today they hold this secret knowledge. Even the proud Dakota, they of the turtle totem, leading north the line of serpents in their age-old migration, recall in long-lost adoration the sacred name of the pale-faced healer. It was long ago that we knew him. He gave to us our right of baptism, many of our lodges, and our rites of purification. When he came to us, the days were warmer, the sun cast down shorter shadows. Well do we remember how he foretold the coming of white man and other predictions. We have backslid from his teachings, but to him we dance the sun dance. We remember great Wakona well. So that one's very short and simple. I think it's just like a good, simple, short, straightforward example of kind of what this book has to offer. But again, like that said, it's just basically just Random Memories, which is the name of that chapter. But this one is from Mississippi. The chapter is called "The Prophet Makes a Second Visit to the Pawnee." So this is one of the stories that I feel is worth sharing that stuck out to me that I thought was really interesting. So it says, many tribes have tales of the healer and how at one time he came among them. Few did he miss, no matter how distant or poor or lost in the ways of other religions. But to the Pawnee he came twice, the last time in anger. The prophet had gone westward to the place we call Oklahoma, where the Puants had a thriving city, and there he was busy erecting temples and instructing a priesthood. Some wild young braves among the Pawnee, who today are known as the Pawnee, formed a secret league to prey on the country, to make themselves rich by attacking the merchants and returning to the old war religion. The merchants thus captured, they would give to the fire god, who would protect them, said the young men. Accordingly, one night, the Pawnee waited in a glen of the Mississippi, where the fleet came to camp and rest on its long journey from the southern sea to the capital city. Quietly flowing was the Father of Waters, whence to the glen came the long ships of the merchants, to discharge the weary rowers for a good night's sleep in the forest shadows. They suspected no mischief, and no watch was placed over the campsite, since the Puans had long been at peace. They laughed and joked as they built a campfire, and in noisy fun cooked their dinner. Then came the time of conversation, of remembering the long trip, small talk of girls and distant cities, of the customs of other nations, and of the man in the flowing white mantle, of whom there was great awe for the miracles he had accomplished. One youth was a skeptic. It is strange that we always seem to miss him. This young man sighed, for I would like to see him, this creature that we call the dawn god, and others the lord of wind and water. Then the talk became hushed, and the head man prepared the tobacco, starting to smoke himself by breathing it to the four directions, taking a few deep puffs of satisfaction before passing it onward to the man to his right in the circle. At last each got out his blankets, wove a bed of branches for comfort, and rolling tightly in the blankets was soon asleep beside the low fire. Then with the yells of Skeery the gray wolf, the wild Pawnee leaped upon them, snatching from sound sleep their surprised prisoners, now forced to carry their own trade goods back to the camp of their bandits. This was a mad night for the Pawnee, leaping and yelling in the firelight as they staked out two men for the fire death, for sacrifices to the fire god. Savage was the untamed dancing as they lit the flames about the Puans. Only one man protested. He pointed to the east where the star of the morning was rising, but the young men paid no attention. Who cared about the star of the morning? No one but the one they had called the healer when first he had come to see them. But now that was far away, his magic weaker, as they chanted the wolf song. Laughingly they pointed at the prisoners, where one was dead and another dying. Let him come and revive these men. That would be much better magic than stopping a windstorm or walking on water. Then a fire lit up the east sky where cloud banks had been piled up, and everyone turned in wonder as consternation hushed the chanting. Suddenly he was there among them, like a creature from another planet, shining with a strange radiance, each hair of his head luminescent, a weird glow rippling from his garments, his sea eyes flashing with lightning. He stood staring at the Pawnee people. Is this the way you keep my commandments? Is this the manner of your insult to the spirit called Tirowa? I come to shield you from his anger, or lo, great wind would ignite the forest, and to ashes would be consigned the Pawnee nation. While the Pawnee stared at him as if frozen, a weak voice cried from the fire, Jesus, Master, from these flames release me. The healer turned and looked at the tortured man. You are free, my son. Walk away from the fire. The burned one moved, and the chains fell from him. And then he staggered toward the healer, falling and clutching the hem of the white robe embroidered with its line of crosses. Those who watched saw a miracle happen, one which they had said could not happen, for the man straightened up without a blemish. Nor was all over, for toward the dead man moved the prophet. Arise, another day is dawning. Thou art not yet for the land of shadows. Arise and return to the land of the living. The fire died away, and the blackened corpse stirred and lifted its head and burned its arms. Arise, my son. No chains are on thee. Come toward me, and be made whole in body. For such this day is the will of my Father. The man arose and left the dark flames, staring at his good flesh with eyes unbelieving, murmuring over and over, to think that I had questioned thy power. Forgive my master, an unbeliever. Sealed were the lips of the Pawnee people with both shame and terror of a child lost and bewildered. Yet they came through the ages, has come the story, and sometimes the old ones repeat it on winter evenings beside the campfire. The legend of the son of mighty Tirawa, who came back in anger on a shaft of the dawn light, by his presence saved from extinction the entire Pawnee nation.